The first hint that something was off came in a text I wasn't meant to see. My wife had left her phone on the counter while she stepped into the bathroom. I glanced at it and froze. "Can't wait to see you tonight, winking face." My stomach sank. That message wasn't from me. I stared at the screen for a long moment, trying to convince myself it was a harmless joke, a misplaced flirt, something innocent. But my gut told me otherwise. In the weeks leading up to the company party, there had been small nagging signs I kept dismissing. She suddenly became more protective of her phone, her laugh sometimes too loud or forced when she glanced at a message, and her explanations for being late at work were vague, almost rehearsed. I blamed myself first. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe I was imagining patterns that weren't there. But deep down I knew something was wrong. The party was in full swing when we arrived, a crowded space alive with music, chatter, and the clinking of glasses. I held her hand tightly at first, but noticed her attention drifting. And then I saw it. Her boss, tall and confident, extended his hand to her. She smiled, hesitated, and then stepped willingly into his arms. They danced together effortlessly like they owned the room. My chest tightened. I felt a wave of heat and disbelief. I tried to shake it off, telling myself I was overreacting. Maybe it was just a friendly dance. Maybe I was imagining something that wasn't there. But as I watched the way he leaned in, the way she laughed with him, I couldn't ignore the flutter of intimacy that passed between them. Moments later, her charming colleague, a man I thought of as harmless, funny, even friendly, sidled up to her. I noticed a subtle change in her demeanor. She leaned into him, laughed more freely, her hand brushing against his in a way that felt deliberate. The unease in my chest became a knot I couldn't untie. I excused myself to the balcony, trying to breathe. The city lights stretched out before me, but the beauty of the night didn't touch me. I replayed the past few weeks in my mind, every small oddity taking on new weight. She had been distant lately, yes, but I had assumed it was stress. The hidden smiles at her phone, the late nights she claimed were work calls. Were they really about work? My thoughts spun in circles, each possibility darker than the last. By the time I returned to the party, she was sitting with the colleague, laughing, seemingly oblivious to my presence. I confronted her gently, trying to keep my voice steady despite the storm inside me. "Hey, are you okay?" Her smile faltered for just a moment. "I'm fine," she said lightly, as if brushing away a shadow. But her eyes didn't meet mine. That small avoidance, the hesitation, was all the confirmation I needed. Something was happening. A betrayal I hadn't wanted to face. The next day I couldn't sleep. I started noticing things I had ignored before. Messages she quickly hid, her phone screen locking faster than usual, conversations that stopped abruptly when I entered the room. My mind felt like it was unraveling. I wanted to believe in her, to convince myself I was overreacting, but the weight of suspicion pressed down harder with each passing hour. Eventually, the truth revealed itself, not in a dramatic confession, but in the quiet, unassuming way betrayal often does. I found texts she had left open on her laptop, messages filled with flirtation, plans, and photos exchanged with both her boss and the colleague. Each line cut deeper than the last. Memories that had once been warm, the gentle brush of her hand, our late-night talks, shared laughter now felt tainted. When I confronted her weeks later, her eyes were filled with guilt, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she said. "I didn't want to hurt you." Her remorse was real, but it couldn't erase the betrayal. I wanted to scream, to beg, to cry. But I also realized that love alone wasn't enough to bridge the chasm that had formed between us. "I need time," I said quietly. "I need to step back." My words were calm, but inside I was a storm. The love I still felt for her tangled with anger, confusion, and heartbreak. I had to choose myself. I had to reclaim the trust and respect I had lost, not from her but from within me. The following months were a slow rebuilding. I rediscovered parts of myself I had neglected, old friends, hobbies, quiet mornings with coffee and reflection. Each small act of self-care reminded me that I was more than the betrayal I endured. Memories of her dancing with her boss, laughing with her colleagues still stung, but they no longer controlled me. They became lessons in vigilance, self-respect, and emotional resilience. A year later, I ran into her at a mutual friend's gathering. She froze when she saw me, eyes wide with recognition and I thought a flash of regret. She approached cautiously, unsure of what to say. You look different, she murmured. I smiled gently, the strength I had found over the past year radiating from me. I've been doing a lot of growing, I said. It's been a long year. She hesitated, searching for something. An apology, a sign that I had been broken by her choices. I didn't give her what she wanted. Instead, I offered calm acceptance, the kind that comes from understanding that some wounds can only heal with self-respect and distance. I'm sorry, she said finally. I know, I replied. But it's okay. We both have to move on. Walking away from her that night, I felt a freedom I hadn't known in years. The party buzzed with life around me, but I was quiet, centered, whole. A year ago, I had been humiliated, betrayed, and heartbroken. Now I had survived. I had healed. I had grown stronger, and for the first time in a long while, I knew that I didn't need validation from anyone else to know my worth. Betrayal teaches harsh lessons, but it also teaches resilience. It strips away illusions, leaving only the truth. Your own strength, your own ability to recover, your own capacity to love, and to protect yourself from love that doesn't honor you. That night, as I left the party, I finally smiled. Not because I had taken revenge, not because I had proven her wrong, but because I had reclaimed myself. And that, I realized, was priceless.